I deliver like the piece of man. But it's all black just like my hands. Shop with my own cause they can understand the life I live but no one else can. Cause when I'm stepping out the house,
So you rather motherfuckers spend your money with them than me? Yeah. Your own blood? Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
See, man, I'm going to Walmart getting new shit.
So you rather motherfuckers spend your money with them than me?
Yeah.
Your own blood? Man, you a bitch. You a bitch. Man, you a bitch. You a bitch.
Welcome to another episode of Time to Taste the Wine Club, Counter Racist Business Theory. Counter Racist Business Theory, everybody. Today I'm coming to you to talk about some specific things that's going on in our area of Kings Mountain. As always, I try to give solutions to counter racist business. So I want you to bear with me for a little while. I got to read a little information. What I believe is competent leadership constantly seeks to improve, never surrenders to emotion, and constantly leaves those who follow better than you found them. I continue to work on this. Don't go with the flow, be the flow. Now, in Kings Mountain, one of the things that I see as being one of the biggest problems is we have too much patience. And sometimes we got to come to the conclusion that patience has its limits. But if we take it too far, it becomes cowardice. We become fearful. We become afraid. We become coherently stagnant or paralyzed in the very situations or the place we are in, and we don't move. We become stagnant. As all of you know, we're living in some times where rent is exceeding our pay 4 times faster. So that means that the rent is moving at a rate so far past cost of living that our pay causes us not to be able to afford rent. So if we can't rent, that means that we become homeless, we become dislocated. And there's a lot of dislocation and homelessness that's going on in Kings Mountain as we speak. A lot of us is dealing with it right now. If we counted the people that were sleeping on somebody's couches, how many people would be homeless? What if we counted the people that was living behind somebody's home in a shed or a building? How many homeless, or how much would that impact the homeless population of Kings Mountain right now? So it's a few things I want everybody to look at. North Carolina is currently ranked 48 out of 50 states, meaning that that's where our income is rated. That's how much money we're getting paid. We are 48 least paid labor force in North Carolina. I mean, that's North Carolina in America, I mean. We 48 out of 50 states. You can look that up, you can Google it. The minimum cost of a home is $346,000. So let's just say it's approximately $350,000. Here in Kings Mountain, a home costs $250,000. That means that we are $100,000 below the rest of the country. So that means people in the country are going to move to where we live to buy houses that we can't afford. Because we're currently getting paid, the minimum pay is about $25 an hour. And we think $25 an hour is good money. It equals to about $1,000 a week after taxes. So if you think you make $1,000 a week, you think that you're doing pretty well. But do the math. 4,000 times 12 should be about $46,000. $46,000 ain't even medium income of North Carolina, and we 48th in the country. Remember that. $55,000 is what North Carolina, people who live in North Carolina make. The minimum income in America is about 68 to 65 approximately. You can look it up, you can also Google that. Because my point being is we're getting paid the least amount of wages, we're getting charged an absorbent amount of rent that we cannot afford, because most people don't make $4,000 a month, they make about $2,000 a month. So that puts us in extreme poverty. And we gotta learn how to deal with some of these things. And I'm gonna come to this conclusion where I'm gonna start trying to get everybody to understand something. We have to believe one or two things. In my opinion, we are through as individuals. We finish as individuals, everybody. Or you got to look at it and ask yourself this question because we got to solve this question. We have to solve this ourselves. Are we finished as a group? If we are finished as a group, then we're finished as a people. Now, I do believe we finish as individuals because I believe the group is what empowers the individual to be an individual. I'm always asked, do I believe that black people are their own worst enemy? And I always tell black people the same thing. No, I don't believe that black people are their own worst enemy. I believe that black people argue and fuss amongst themselves to the point that they're non-competitive with other people and other groups. So as an individual, we are non-competitive because why? Because we don't unify. We don't unify with the group, or even we don't even feel like we can work with one another. That's the reason why the question always comes up. The question comes up only when we're not succeeding. So when you don't succeed as an individual, you blame the group. But when you succeed as an individual, you don't give the group any kind of accolades. You say, I made it on my own. I made it on my own. I got it up out the mud. That's basically what we say. We say it all the time. I hear it so much now that, it becomes common practice. But I'm coming to say this. We having a BBX this year, 2020. We're going to have it at Peachy King in Gaffney, South Carolina. Come and join us. Hopefully we can create some solutions to our problems instead of creating more problems. Because at the end of the day, all we're doing is basically articulating and debating problems and not coming up with solutions, everybody. So at the end of the day, basically, I just want everybody to understand that we can do what any other group on the planet does only if we work together. We in a position now where we really have left ourselves no choice. Think about this little thing that I always say. When we was in America and it was just us and white folks, you know what I'm saying? After the Indians was murdered, we was number 2. Okay, number 2, what did we get? We didn't get anything. Now you have whites, Hispanics, Asians, even people coming from over India and over immigrants that's coming to America. So now we may be 4th or 5th. We only make up 13% of the population. So if we didn't get nothing at number 2, the question is, what are we gonna get at number 4 or 5 if we don't work together? So I'm gonna pose this question. Again, my opinion is we are done as individuals. The question that I think we have to solve is, are we done as a group? Because at the end of the day, the last thing that I remember I said in the BBX was, what must be done for black people must be done by black people.
I don't have to be the leader of anything, but the community have to connect. You're not going to get everybody. You're not going to get everybody. That is not what this is about. This is about getting like-minded people that understand that they must survive and ensure a future for their future children. And women, men, we got to stand up. I promise you, we don't have any choice at this particular late date. I mean, I'm not even going to mention who the president is right now. I think everybody know. So that's no need for me to go there. But what we have is what we always had. Look to the left, look to the right, look at each other. Serious. This is what we got. If this is all we got, it's going to be enough. That's all I can tell you. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. But what I'm going to tell y'all is this, and at the end of this, I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. What must be done for black people must be done by black people.
Turn around and say you're tripping. We sit and talk about not being slaves, but very few of us is out here being brave. They got ideas to help us all generate a wealthy family, cause Black Wall Street went in a blaze.
Why the colonies came to stabilize the land, because the dark continent had copper and gold, and the discoverers had themselves a plan. They would discover all the places with promise. You didn't need no titles and deeds. Then they would appoint people to make everything legal, to sanction the trickery and greed. And back in the jungle, when the natives got restless, they would call it guerrilla attack. And they would never describe that the folks finally got wise and decided that they would fight back.
Hello, everybody. My name is Roger McLean, and I would like to thank Monica and Adrian McConnell for booking UAPRadio's photography and DJ services for their recent wedding. If you or someone you know has an upcoming wedding or event and would like to book our services, contact UAP Radio today at 704-418-1876.
This is a Black Phoenix production.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your man Spaceman Stu, aka the Black Phoenix Productions. And I want everybody out there to put your hands together if you're black skin, melanin, and stripping of it.